Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Not sure why this got scheduled, but it was supposed to go live straight away. Hang on. Oh, good, that's on my computer screen, not on my face. Please excuse the appearance. It's been a hard day of getting hair done, and just trying to get my hair up in a ponytail was a challenge. We've been in this all day. But hopefully won't be having to wear it for any more day. We'll see how it is tomorrow morning. This morning my thumb was very sore with the tenosynovitis. So I've been wearing this all day, which has made it very challenging for trying to take notes. Then I suddenly realized, hang on, I don't need to take notes because they've given us syllabuses and the presenters have done a phenomenal job of giving us detailed notes in these syllabuses. So they're kind of even better than they're kind of between a textbook and note taking. Is the information that they've put into the syllabus for us. And then I thought, and in a week or two, I will get all the links to all the recordings for all the classes so I can go back then and take my notes if I feel like I need to take notes. So I just sat back, relaxed, and listened and got blown away again. Yes, there were a couple of notes taken, and yes, I can read them. I had to do them left-handed. But today was the last day of the Utah Genealogical Society's Summit of Excellence. And I have to tell you, the topics they have had through this whole thing, none of them have been, well, some of them have kind of been like normal topics that you expect to see and that you expect to see at the different summits and things. But we had such really great topics. Like I was looking at today's one, at today's list, and I was sort of like, I am so staying in the one track all day. I am not hopping over to any other tracks. We had methodology, which I did that in January. I did it again in July, and I'm like, I'm giving it a break because I looked through the topics. I was like, yeah, that's all the same stuff I've already done, and I want to learn something new. And I can always go back through the classes when we see the recordings. And then there was the track that I did, which was online research, and the other track was immigration and migration. And so I thought, I'm just going to stick with the online stuff because the online stuff had subjects like untangling sticky problems, shaky leaf syndrome, traveling back in time, hop, skip, and a jump. And I'm sort of like, in community research, I was sort of like, I'm just staying where I am. And it was a really, really cool day. Today was day 3 of the summit. We had our back to basics on Wednesday. So day 3 of the summit was the final day. It was awesome. Unsticking sticky things. We're going through this class and I'm like, oh, I wish I knew it was that easy to do. Because on familysearch.org, they have the combined world tree on there. And I've been through that, and there's been a lot of mistakes that have been what other people have put in regards to my family tree. And I've looked at their stuff and gone, that's not correct. Those ain't his kids. Those are his kids, but that's not the parent. And so there's been today I learned tools on how to unstick those situations. And when you make a change on data that's already there, they actually ask you the reason why you are making the change. Now, every time I have made a change on the thing, I have put in there that I have physical copies of certificates, and I'll put in there the certificate number. Like if it's a marriage certificate, here's their certificate number. So information was confirmed that way. The fact that this is a direct descendant of a direct ancestor of mine as well. So I've been researching for a while, and I have this documentation, and I put in there the documentation that I have to back up this information. I had somebody in there a few weeks ago, and they had 2 of my brother-in-laws listed and my husband listed, but not my third brother-in-law, because my husband had 3 brothers. And one of the ones who is currently alive, they had listed as dead. And I was like, So I contacted this person and said, how do you know that? How are you related to the family that you're in there putting this stuff in? Oh, I'm no relation to the family. I'm just a very good friend of this particular person here. And so I thought I'd just go and have a look. And I was just clicking things. And I'm sort of like, that is not how we do research. And it happened to be while I was at the class in at the class in July. And so I told her, look, this has to be reversed. I've said I've put the request in to change it from a dead person to a living person. And so she says, okay. But when I went back in the other day, he was completely removed. So and she had left off one of them. So I put both of them back in there as living. So they will show up on the tree as a living person, as a living male. Because you can put male or female in there. So I've got them on there as a living person. So I can see them because I put the information in there, but nobody else can see. And it's actually part of my tree that I uploaded. And so so I can see the people that I put into my tree, which has been somehow linked to the greater tree that's out there. But it was really cool learning how to, because there's so many times I've come across information and I'm like, yeah, that's not correct. Now I know. I've done a couple of changes and I've put there the reason why I've made the change, but now I know even more how important it is to go and do that when I see that, and not to go down the rabbit warren. Like if you're searching a person, search the person. Stop going off down the rabbit hole to correct things, but take a note so you can go back and do it later. So that was really cool to learn all of that and know that what I had been doing up to that point was correct. They just gave me more tools to make it easy. They gave me an easier way to do it. And I was like, but, and I was like, that's so much easier. So I learned that what I've been doing was correct. I just was doing it in a different way that was more difficult, and now I have an easier way to help correct these issues that are on there where the information is not correct. And I have documentation to back up that information that has been posted there is not correct. And so I can put in the reasons why I'm making the change. And some people don't even put in a reason why they make a change. They just make the change. And it's like, well, why did you make that change? Because some people have gone into my tree and information that is correct and verified, and I use a minimum of 3 sources where possible, that I have verified the information is correct, so I know it is correct, which is why I'm putting it in the tree for public to see. And then somebody's gone along and changed the information. I'm like, and there's no explanation as to why. They've just changed it. So I've had to go and change it back and put in there why I'm changing it back. So, and I even gotten a to-do with somebody through the messaging system. They keep saying, but that's the person that's supposed to. I says, look, that is my great-grandfather. I think I know better than you. How are you related to that person? Well, I'm not related. Well, there you go. So but I learned how to do it. Undo mergers, how to undo. Well, for dead people who are dead who are actually living, there's a whole process for that. And if it's somebody I have added to the tree, I'm just going in and deleting them and re-entering them, putting them back in the system again. Because to me, that's the easier way than waiting for them to wade through and go through all the stuff. Then we talked about the next class was those little if you've ever been on Ancestry and you see those little leaves that go do. I can't do that as well with this hand as I can with the other hand. You see those little shaky leaves, or there's different online family tree programs have different ways of notifying that you have a hint. And so it was talking about those little leaves, and do you merge them with your information? Do you not merge them with your information? How do you know what's real? How do you know what's not? So it's going through that process of proving information. And she gave us all the presenters gave us really good case studies so that we could see how, and there's always somebody in their tree about how they found this information, verified it was correct or not correct, and what they then did. So that was really cool. So I learned some tips and techniques on the shaky leaf syndrome that we get. But one of the most really cool ones was somebody demonstrated Google Earth Pro. Now, Google Earth Pro is a software program you download onto your computer. It cannot be used on a phone. You need the big screen for it. But what you can do with this to see what the area was like when your ancestors lived there was just amazing. And because it's a program that's on your computer, you can actually do things like attach information about people who lived at certain addresses. Like, this is the address that here's a picture of my ancestors, and this is where they lived, in the we were shown through Liverpool, and about how this person's ancestors had moved around Liverpool on different census reports. and she'd use those, and she had photographs of them and stories of them about them living in that area and what they did and that sort of. And so it was just sort of like this thing that you could follow on the map to see where they lived, and the better they did, the further out they got from where the slum area was and all this. It was just fascinating, the story, and I'm like, and you did that with a map? And then she moved over to the US and brought up a county that ancestors had lived in, and she already had the map, and it showed where in the county her people had property. So she took the old map, brought it up on Google Pro, then took the old map and overlaid the current map, and then you're able to adjust the scale of the old map to match the scale that's on the new map. So like there was this really weird river, and you could tell it was the right one because of the way the river came into this big horseshoe thingy and then did this like zigzag thing and went up to this point and where her ancestors' place was. And then she just got the old map and just sized it so the rivers matched exact. And that was really fascinating. Then she goes to one state, and she puts in for the counties for a certain time period, and it shows the counties in that time period, what counties they had, because county lines moved as the years went on, population increased, and so county lines were moved and that sort of thing. And then she was able to press a button or something. She pressed something, and all of a sudden the county lines were changing and new counties were being born and all of this right up to today's time. So, and then she had it pinned, and you can actually make your own map there. You can pin where your ancestors were, so we could see how many times the ancestors, even though they stayed in the same house for a certain number, for a few decades, you could see how many times their county name changed during that time. So it was really fascinating to watch. As I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to put that into my calendar to go play, because it was just so much fun watching this video. And I did not go download it today because then I would go try and play with it, and I'm trying to rest this thing up. So, but I can't wait until I'm able to go in there and I have the time to go in there and play with it, because I want to see what it does in England and Ireland and Scotland and Cornwall and New Zealand, where my ancestors were and that sort of stuff. And then I'll start on Brad's side of the family with when they came to the US, where they've been living in the US, where they were in the Ukraine and Lithuania and Russia and Germany and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be fun. You will know about when I start doing that. Then we talked about a hop, skip, and a jump. Now, most people ask me, when they ask me about, it's too long to ask, no, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump. You just hop from here to LA, you get on a hop, skip, and a jump. What was it? Something about a hop, skip, and a jump just to get to New Zealand or something like that, but I can't remember what it was. That was a few years ago. Anyway, so we talked about that on the Family Search site. There is a lot of information on there, and some of it you can't and is not indexed, but there are images of it and how to access those images very quickly, because if they're not indexed and you open up a particular file and there's like 300 images sitting there, how do you know which one to go to? You know that they're in there somewhere in those 300, but how do you find it? And so she was very good at giving us hints and tips on how to very quickly hop, skip, and a jump through there to find the piece of information that you need. And I thought, yeah, I've worked my way through those. And so it confirmed that what I was doing was correct in going in there and looking for records and stuff, figuring out about where in these, all these numbers of images that I can go to. So that was really cool too. And then what did I do the last one? Because I didn't do that class. Oh, hang on. I think I went up to, I did do one. I did do one class out of the methodology track, which was the last class was proving long lost family in an indirect way. So normally when we're doing research for genealogy, we're trying to find the most direct way possible that we can find a relationship between one person and another person. Sometimes that direct information, like birth certificates, marriage certificates, may not be available. So now you have to find what other ways can you approach finding out when somebody was born, when they got married, and that sort of thing. So it was taking us through some of the back doors. It was taking it, instead of going through the front door, it was showing us how to go around the back and coming through the back door to find the same information. So that's the best way I can describe it, is that normally when we're trying to make connections, we try going through the front door with the information that we have and doing that direct connect. But sometimes we have to circle around the house and come in from the back door to get that information because the front door is blocked. So this was a good way of helping us get around blocks in your family tree when you can't find that direct information. And so I'm probably going to end up having to use some of these techniques with finding my fourth great grandfather, who was the jeweler / foreign agent, and finding out what happened to him. So I have my research question formatted, and thanks to all of the last 4 days, I have kind of worked out a plan of attack. I just have to go refine it a little bit, and I need to check some stuff on the recordings when they come in. But that's a project I'm going to work on once I get client stuff out of the way. Clients come first. But yeah, I'm eager to get in there and use some of these new tools and tips and techniques to go and see if I can find his information. So, but I know if I go get started now, I won't stop. That's one of those things that when I start, I'll just go until I basically fall asleep at the table. And that has happened on more than one occasion. Yes. And so we're not doing any research at the moment. We're doing limited research right now until I can get my right hand back, because actually my left hand's been pretty good with the mouse today. It's been doing a pretty damn good job with the mouse. So yeah, but I have to say the quality of the presenters they have had this week has been awesome. Normally I'm a person who, if they had us turn off all of our cameras, they required us to turn our cameras off. They said to save the bandwidth. So they required us to turn the cameras off and during the sessions, which I thought, well, that's kind of cool. Well, at first it always annoys me because I get so distracted, shiny object syndrome. So like, a thought will pop in my head. And if I'm on camera, I won't go and follow that thought. It gets written down to go and research, go and do later. If I'm off camera, I'm sort of like, oh yeah, let me go have a quick look at that. And I'm off. I'm still listening to what's going on over here, but I'm over here doing this stuff here. When I'm on camera, I am more present and more focused at that time when I'm on camera. But then the last couple of days with my wrist issues, I have sort of been like, I am so glad I am not on camera for these sessions, because there is no way I can get my makeup done and look camera ready. So you're getting the real raw deal here. Trying to get my hair up as it is, that was a challenge. And I'm sort of like, yeah, tomorrow's Sunday. I don't have to do anything tomorrow. I do have laundry, but that can wait. I have enough clothes to see another week or whatever. But tomorrow's just going to be a kickback and relax type of day, and just processing all this information and just basically just taking a break. Yeah. I think that's what we'll do. We're not going to do anything tomorrow. No, tomorrow's a complete day off. The only time we'll be online is to do this. Oh yeah, welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1144. It only took me 18 minutes and 20 seconds to realize I didn't say that at the beginning. I apologize. The brain's a little scrambled right now. I got a pup who is like, come on, Ma, let's go. Let's get walking. So we're going to go do that, and we will see you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. And for now, hang on, I got to get the mouse ready. And oh yeah, it's actually the left hand's been doing really good with the mouse today. It's even been clicking the right. Oh my goodness, I just said how well my left hand's been doing with the mouse, and it took me out of the studio. It's been doing pretty good today. Anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here. Take time off tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. Take the day off. Get offline, go outside, enjoy the thing. It's meant to be nice. It's meant to be below 100 here in Arizona tomorrow, or here in our area of Arizona tomorrow. If I could go for a drive, I would. I've got this really cool picnic hamper, which is I got a 2-person picnic hamper, and I've got Zeffy's picnic dog bag or weekend dog bag, and we haven't had a chance to break either of those in yet. So I was planning on doing that tomorrow. That ain't going to happen. Yes, but anyway, go have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Hei konera. Do, 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 do.